Flight boss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and Dolo here to carry out God duties and motherfucking responsibilities. And right now, we're going to talk about Saturn going into Capricorn for all my Aquarius ascendants. Now, all my Aquarius ascendants, off the bat, look, Saturn worked like a bulldozer. You see what I'm saying? So, Saturn, whatever house it goes to, is going to tear down that motherfucking house. Because what is Saturn? Saturn is how one sees reality. Saturn is also how one gains structure in their life, which that could be based upon a person, place, or thing, or a job. You know what I'm saying? Also is where one places, but also receives boundaries and restrictions and limits. So for the most part, for my Aquarius ascendants, you know what I'm saying, Capricorn is going to be in your 12th house. But for the most part, you know, based upon degrees, it's probably still lingering around in your 11th house and things of that nature. So it didn't already tore down this house. And you know, you didn't already kind of pretty much regain structure and regain power and control over this house. So you at a state of this house right now where you're probably just cleaning up, wiping down windows, throwing out the trash, and you're getting ready to go home if you're not home already based upon degrees. And that's Capricorn going into your 12th house. Now, what is the 12th house? Now, the 12th house is the subconscious realm, how you connect with the collective conscious. So it's like the things you are subconsciously comfortable with doing. Those time and places where you like, I can't wait till I go home and do this. Or I can't wait till I go here and do that. I can't wait till I get to do this. These are things you are subconsciously comfortable with doing. You see what I'm saying? So things you are subconsciously comfortable with doing taps you into your yin realm, your inner realm, your creative imagination, spirituality realm. So the 12th house also represents the dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, spirituality, and fantasy realm. And how you connect with the collective conscious with the many different ways that's utilized onto this world. You see what I'm saying? So that's the 12th house. So just think about all what I just named. All that was building the 12th house. Now here come old Saturn as a motherfucking bulldozer. Yeah, boom, knocking down all that everything in that house. So now you're gonna have to find yourself restructuring and reevaluating how you look at your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination. You're gonna have to reevaluate the things that you subconsciously do. The things you may subconsciously do right now may put you in compromising or vulnerable moments to the point that other people think you are in an illusion. Other people think that you subconsciously doing stupid shit and things of that nature. So keep that in your mind. Also, when it comes to this placement, you know what I'm saying? Saturn is going to force you to see the reality of your dreams. It's going to force you to see the reality of the illusion that you was in. So you don't be in it no more. So if you was deep in an illusion based upon a person, place, or thing, or this person was doing certain attributes and actions to show you that they're not good for you, but you got them in an illusion. You got them wrapped up. You don't want to necessarily leave based upon the memory and the attachment that you have to them and how you know them and what y'all done built together. So you may be so far into an illusion that when Saturn comes into the 12th house, it may just take that fucking person away from you and make you see the reality of that illusion. So that illusion getting taken away from you may play out as harsh. This is where Saturn may be harsh. But Saturn is truly not evil or good. It's just here, it plays as a person with love, that tough love type of energy. You see what I'm saying? Tough love parenting. A parent that's not going to shelter you. It's going to tell you all the harsh things now. So when you get older and experience these harsh things, you know how to understand it and work your way through it better than others. So that's how kind of Saturn is playing out for you Aquariuses right now. You know what I'm saying? It's tearing down your imaginations, your fantasy realms, and things of that nature, and it's wanting you to see the reality of these things. You see what I'm saying? It's wanting you, and your old ways of how you was gaining structure in that area of life, it tore that down and wants you to regain a new way of structure. So you have to reevaluate, regroup, and go back to the drawing board when it comes to what you was imagining, your fantasy realm, your dreams, illusions, creativity, and things of that nature, and also the way you connect with the collective conscious and the things that you are subconsciously doing. Right now, Saturn is going to force you to be like, dang, should I be subconsciously doing this? Should I be subconsciously into this? Is this really creative or is this an illusion? Is this my imagination or is this a fantasy? You see what I'm saying? It's gonna help you. It's gonna force you to try to regain structure in your life in some way, shape, and form based upon these things. So once Saturn is done, you're gonna be able to take your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination, the fantasy realm in some way, shape, or form to be able to gain structure in your life. But right now is at the beginner stages of Saturn just fucking tore all that shit down. So you find yourself having to rebuild this house. So this is the actual main theme of Aquarius ascendants. Your subconscious and things you're subconsciously into and your creative mechanism is tore down, and you have to regroup, reshape. And anytime you keep going on old ways to how you was doing it, your old dreams, your old creativities is not going to be received well in the world. So you always going to have tools. You always have tools you always are equipped with tools to apply with yourself in order to help build this house a lot faster, so you don't experience any storms coming before your ass have a roof. So what is the tools that you have? The tools that you have is the opposite house and the square houses, because we know the squares in the opposite houses is what work positive when it comes to the houses. You see what I'm saying? Because your houses is your areas of life. And what are we here to do? Learn and experience and overcome obstacles. So aka the learning process is squares, and the oppositions is your obstacles. You know, sextiles and trines, you already have natural access to these in the houses. So these are things you may procrastinate on. So they are seen as negative when it comes to the houses. As far as planet alignments, they're seen as positive, the sextile and trine. And the square and opposition may be seen as negative, because the square and the opposition is what's the forces that's coming outside of you, not the ones you're pushing out. You see what I'm saying? But when it comes to the houses, these are things that's positive. Now, let's talk about it. Now, let's go to the let's start with your first tool. So the first tool will be the 6th house, because the 6th house is opposite to the 12th house. So for the most part, what is the 6th house? The 6th house is work, health, whatever you're working on. So you may be working on your talent, gift, or whatever like that. But ultimately it's whatever you're working on, or your work, or your job, health, routine, scheduling, things you do on a day-to-day basis, your ability to criticize yourself and others, or a person, place, or thing, and also it's your ability to look at the details and how effectively you do it. So that's the 6th house. So the more you take the 6th house mechanism and apply it to the 12th house, the more you're going to be able to build your 12th house faster, to the point that you don't have to experience as many storms without a roof, and everybody gets soaked into that house, aka the beings within you. So you know what I'm saying? So you may be like in a situation. Now the opposite house, here's the thing, this is the house that you first going to experience the first causes of friction from, because opposites attract, but what attract is what caused the friction also, is what causes something to separate. So for the most part, when you want to talk about the opposite house, this is going to be the first tug of war match you experience, and you're here to make this a give and receive match. Now let's talk about the actual friction, the actual tug of war. What's actually going on? What's actually going on is it's going to be kind of hard to correlate in your life at this moment your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination with your work, or whatever you're working on, or reality, or what you're practically coming to conclusions about, or what you're criticizing and looking at the details about, and things you're doing on a day-to-day basis, things you got on your schedule, things you're doing every day. It's hard to correlate these two. You see what I'm saying? And you can see how that's kind of a negative thing, because if a person not applying their dreams and creativity into their work or things that they're doing every day, that's not right. But for the most part, that's what it's kind of hard to do, and vice versa. It's kind of hard to apply your work and what you got on schedule to your dreams and your creativity and imaginations and fantasies and things of that nature. So in so many ways, shapes, and forms, right, to make this a give and receive match, you're going to have to learn how to set aside your dreams. I mean, you're going to learn how to set aside what you're working on, your health, your routine, your scheduling, your detailing, your ability to criticize, and what you're actually criticizing. You're going to have to learn how to set that aside for the sake of other people's you're going to have to learn how to set that aside for the sake of your dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, fantasy realm. You see what I'm saying? Sometimes you're just going to have to learn how to set your work ethic aside for what you want to get into, your dreams and imagination at times. And then vice versa. Sometimes you may have to set aside your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination for your work or whatever you're working on. Or you see what I'm saying? And your health and your routine and things of that nature. But try not to go too far on that end, because that's what's causing the friction in the first place, because that's where Saturn is at. So when you go too far on that end, too far into your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination, and you're not even gaining structure or seeing the reality of it or criticizing and looking at the detail of it and effectively making it part of your task and rotation every day, then obviously, you see what I'm saying, you put yourself in a situation where you start to see the friction. You start to see where people are going to look at you where, oh, this person is in an illusion. This person is not even trying to make sense out of it. So you see what I'm saying? So that's how you make this a give and receive match other than the tug of war match. Now, let's go to the squares. Now, what are the squares to the 12th house? The 9th and the 3rd house. You see what I'm saying? So let's start with the 3rd house. Here's another something you may need to apply. You know what I'm saying? Because the squares is the learning processes. So let's start with the motherfucking 3rd house. Now the 3rd house, what is the 3rd house? Your surroundings and what you're familiar with. So all things in your surroundings, like your neighborhood and things of that such, but also what you're familiar with. That could be a person, place, or thing, gift, talent, trade. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, gift, talent, trade, something you have learned. Long as it's in your familiarity part of your brain, you're familiar with it, and it's not something that's new to you that you have to learn. Yeah, it's in your 3rd house. So you need to learn how to apply all that to your 12th house, to your broken down house. You see what I'm saying? You need to learn how to apply your surroundings in some way, shape, or form, and what you're familiar with. Because here's what's happening. You may be stubborn to the fact that it may be certain things going on in your surroundings, or certain people, places, and things that you're familiar with, that you're not trying to incorporate them with your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination for whatever reason. Maybe you might think that you might think if you express that area of life that these people in your surroundings might look at you as crazy, or you may think that if you are you may think that if you do certain things and you may be seen a certain way and you're too far in. So there's a lot of different things that you may be naive and stubborn to the fact of. But you're here to learn how to get a grips of these energies. So you're here to learn how to apply these things the best way that you can. So as far as like your dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, and fantasy, and spirituality in your subconscious realm, you're here to learn how to apply that to your surroundings, or and vice versa. You're here to learn how to apply your surroundings and what you're familiar with, whether that's a gift, talent, trade, and apply it to your subconscious realm. Make sure these are things you want to subconsciously do. Make sure these are things that you're making yourself a part of. Apply what you're familiar with to your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination, and fantasy realm, and what you're subconsciously into. You never know. It might be a person, place, or thing in your surroundings that take you from point A to point B, or understand you more than anybody else or anything else. So, you know, you're here to learn how to effectively blend these houses in some way, shape, or form. And that's going to help build your 12th house faster. Now, your other learning process will be the 9th house. Now, what is the 9th house? And this actually works positive because these are both Jupiter houses. You know, now, what is the 9th house? The 9th house represents higher learning, higher education, meanings and reasonings, higher meanings and reasonings to things, your wisdom and knowledge, which you have experienced, which cause expansion within your mind, and your broad philosophical points of views of looking at the world, spirituality, and God. So you may be going through a situation where you're naive or stubborn to the fact that, you know, you're not trying to learn or get a higher educated realm of reality about your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination in certain ways, shapes, and forms. Like you're not trying to gain any wisdom. It may be even situations where you're not even genuinely experiencing your dreams, illusions, creativity, and imagination. You know what I'm saying? And you don't. It's like you're doubting so much to the point that you're not wanting to experience your dreams. So it's like, oh no, that's not something. That's not real. You keep doing things of that nature and keep doubting yourself, or you may be naive or acting stubborn to the fact where it may become a situation where you're not taking what you have learned or your broad philosophical points of views of looking at the world, spirituality, God, and you're not you're not adding any imagination to it. No, your own imagination. And then you're not taking your dreams, illusions, creativity, and you're not learning, or you're not experiencing, or you're not having no broad philosophical, or you're not putting no higher meanings and reasonings to your dreams. So they're staying in a low place, a low vibrational place. You need to learn how to apply higher meanings and reasonings to your dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, and spirituality, and things of that nature. So you need to learn how to apply. So learning how to apply, you need to take the 9th house and learn how to incorporate that with the 12th house. So take your education low level, take your the things you have tied higher meanings and reasonings to, your wisdom and knowledge, your experiences, your broad philosophical points of views of looking at the world, and things of that nature, and things like astrology, occult, mysticism, and science, and things. Take all these things and apply it to the 12th house. Learn how to incorporate those things to your dreams, illusions, creativity, imagination, your fantasy realm. Learn about your fantasy realm. Learn about your creativity. You know what I'm saying? Experience these things. Add higher meanings and reasonings to these things, and you're going to start to see, start to look at the broad philosophical points of views of a lot of your dreams, creativity, imagination, and things that you're subconsciously into. And it's going to take you into areas of life, make you feel comfortable of going through with these things, because you know the real meaning of these things, and can't nobody take the meaning and purpose away from you. You see what I'm saying? So that's what you need to be doing. Anytime something is correlating with the 12th house and the 9th house and the other water houses and things of that nature, may not correlate with reality, but it calls with understanding. And once you understand it, the reality that you formulate and manifest in your life would take place as such. You see what I'm saying? As what you accumulated. So that's what this was about. So you know what I'm saying? This is Saturn going in Capricorn for all my Aquarius ascendants. And the main theme is getting your subconscious straight and restructuring your ideas and your imaginations and your spirituality. Flight boss, bitch. Goddamn air. Yee-hee.